So my guest today is a very good friend and just a delight, a joy, a ray of light. I mean, look at her background, y'all. This is where she be a lot. Is Keelin Siobhan Clark. And Keelin and I just met each other late last year, and we shared a powerful experience together working as the staff and coaches for a leadership program out in San Diego. And Keelin, you're a little bit north of San Diego, right? You're in between LA and San Diego. Where you be
I'm in Orange
exactly?
County.
Orange
Yep,
County.
I'm in Orange County.
Awesome. Awesome. And for those of us on the East Coast, I just asked Keelin before we popped on live, how's the weather out west? And, she told me, and I just had I was like, wow, we're a little warmer here on the East Coast, and that's very rare. I mean, except maybe in the thick of summer when we're in our humid swamp weather. So thank you, Keelin, for joining us today. And tell everyone who's watching live and everyone who will watch later who you are and who you be.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany. First, thank you so much for opening up this space. I've tuned into a couple of your episodes, and what you're doing here is awesome and beautiful. And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So my name is Keelin Siobhan Clark. I am an empowerment coach, entertainer. I am from Vermont originally, so I know all about that swampy East Coast habits. And I moved to California when I was 28, and I spent 20 years in the corporate world. And half of those years I worked from home. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. Mm-hmm. And then I made the switch into being an entrepreneur, and I was starving my artist for 20 years. And when I stopped doing that, my creativity exploded. And it was one of the best decisions I'd ever made was being able to shift my who I am.
I love it. So you were in the corporate world for 20 years. And how long have you been working from home?
I worked from home sporadically. It all started with snow days.
East Coast
snow days. Yeah, I lived in a small. My mom and my biological father are from Saratoga Springs, New York. So I lived there for about 8 years, and I worked in the corporate world in New York City as well. But when I lived in upstate New York, when they gave us laptops, it was like, we don't have to drive in. We can stay at home. Like, bring your laptop home. And that was kind of when the work from home thing started. And then when I moved to California, I brought my job with me. So I was working from home because I had already proven myself. And then I worked at a radar factory in the Valley in LA for a couple of years. And when I left there, I took another work from home position. And in doing that, I worked in technology mostly, so I could do the work from my laptop. And I learned some tricks. And in the process, I fell in love with my now fiance, who also has spent most of his career working from home. So
you guys are pros, maybe?
Pros? I'd say we're pros. I'd say that we're pros. Yeah.
So let's start there. So, a lot of people working from home, they're not pros at.
Yeah.
This is new territory, new terrain that they're entering into. So tell us, how that was in the beginning, because that's where a lot of people are right now. They're in the beginning stages of working from home. I shared with you earlier how, I've been noticing on, social media that a lot of people have started their home office on their kitchen table, which is great, right? We get to start somewhere. So let us know where you started and kind of what kind of progressed into what was working, what wasn't working, to kind of just lean into, that work in home space. And just so the audience knows, we're going to be moving into, Keelin also works a lot with videos and a lot with camera. And I know that one aspect of working from home is being on camera a lot now, and video chatting, video teaching, video presenting. And we're going to dive into that a little bit later about being confident on camera and some little tips and tricks from Keelin as well.
Yeah, great tee up. So I'll start where I started working from home. It was a snow day. I remember it pretty lucidly. And I sat on the couch and I did my work. And at the end of the day, I hadn't eaten, I hadn't showered. I had gotten more done than I'd ever gotten done. It was like I was like cramming for a test, in college or something. And my back hurt because I was sitting on the couch for like, I was like 12 hours.
Oh,
So there's the perils of falling into the trap of working so much. Like I'm working from home. I need to prove that I'm like doing as much as everyone else is doing. I fell into that trap. Um, and I also, hadn't showered that day, let's say.
mhm.
So some of the things that I learned is, get up the way that you are pretending to go to work. Do your same routine, whatever your routine is. And then if you're working at the kitchen table, that's great. And then make sure you have breaks. So if you're home with the kids and you all have to eat at the table for lunch, then pick up your work stuff, put it away, and play. It's okay to take a break. And I actually will say allow yourself breaks, because a lot of times when we're working from home, we just like will go into the zone and not think about, eating, taking a walk outside, whatever it is to get your body moving. I started wearing a Fitbit too, because I realized I wasn't moving that much. So for
Yeah.
all of us right now, every single one of us, who's at home, who's not a non-essential, I really recommend tracking your movements while you're home, whether you're seasoned at it or not, because things are a little different.
Amazing. So not only just, so what I'm hearing you say, it's not only just the actual work and the productivity, it's the actual being and how to create an environment that supports work and supports the also the notion that we are home. And I love how you excuse me, I love how you pointed that out, those of us that are non-essential, because that's a real thing that we're navigating through right now, what's essential and not essential. And when you just said that, I was like, ooh, am I non-essential right now? And yes, my work is non-essential right now. I don't need to leave and be anywhere to create and engage with my clients or anything. So, and then what I'm also hearing you say is creating your entire lifestyle. So not just your work, but creating the complete picture of who you are in the experience of working from home. So knowing, and it's funny when you said, the first day you did it, you didn't shower, you barely ate. It was 12 hours and you felt like a college student cramming for, a test. And that's real.
Yeah.
And we also know that's not sustainable.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Right. And we have been put on a timeout, I call it, for whatever reason. The virus is just a mechanic of us being able to slow down. And how we're reflecting how we're working at home is a really good way of reflecting of how we're working in life, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything, right?
Yep.
So this is our opportunity to create schedules, to create boundaries, whether it's with your kids or your employer, if you're working from home, because you get to show up really powerfully. I mean, that was me like working for 12 hours and, there wasn't any video though. Um, so you don't feel like, I would just say, don't feel like you have to prove yourself, because you are valuable, you are awesome, and you've got this, you know how to do your job. And creating boundaries for yourself and your own self-care is probably the most important thing. I would say it's the most important thing for anyone right now. Like we all get to put on our own oxygen masks. We get to meditate. We get to really get intimate with our homes, with our families, you know, and clean out the little cobwebs. And working from home allows us to do that. Like there've been some studies and articles saying, well, don't do laundry while you're working from home and don't do this. I say take advantage of like your own boundaries. If you need to do laundry, do laundry. It's fine. Like get up and move, You're going to know yourself. If you can create your own workspace, that's better, with a door, so that you can create those boundaries with your family. But if you can't, you just get to create your own bubble.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the bubble.
Okay. Yeah.
What has been working for you in regards to right now working from home with the structure? Like, what are your best practices? Like, you know, because most of us, we may not have that door. And I
Right.
like how you brought that forward,
Yeah.
that having a door is ideal, yet we may not have the door, which is why, some of the people started off in their kitchen with the kitchen table, because it was a table, there was a chair. And that's what the
Yeah.
workplace, culturally is. I sit in a chair and there is a table.
Yeah.
And, I was speaking to, a friend yesterday, and he set up a whole standing table situation,
That's
a
what Darren has.
desk thing,
Yep.
because he was experiencing some back pain issues. And he was like, why was I not doing this sooner? So he's been standing, and when you see him on camera, because we did a FaceTime yesterday, and I'm like, you look so alive and you're vibrant, and like, oh my gosh, you look incredible right now. And he's like, I'm standing. And I was like, oh, that's it. And then he switched the screen and showed me his MacGruber setup, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Darren, my fiance, has a standing desk that's actually it's on a hydraulic, so it goes up and down if he wants to sit.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be used as a kitchen table. And we want to also be careful, like your friend should stand on something that is padded, because a lot of times we'll work from home and we'll stand all day and your back will start to hurt.
So, and what's so interesting? My best friend has those mats in her kitchen, and I love standing on those mats.
Those are great.
Like, I just feel so much better. So even, for those of you at home, I want to try that. If you have a yoga mat, you could roll out your yoga mat and stand on that. And when I do that, I double it up. Like, I'll fold my yoga mat in half to have that extra support. And even if you don't have a yoga mat, grab some towels, fold up some towels, and like just any shock absorber. Like, if you are going to try the standing desk situation, that's something that's been working for me. I don't have a problem sitting down, but I know when I stand, I'm the opposite. When I stand, I'm like, oh man, this is not fun for me. I have challenges with my knees. So I do appreciate the absorbers. So thanks for bringing that piece forward as well, because that's just something so simple that we can do in any way, shape, or form. And even now, sitting here, I took one of the cushion from my client couch, and I use that to support my lower back, so I can be, upright, because it just made me feel like I was slouchy. So just like these little ergonomical like tweaks support as well. So anything else that, anyone at home who they're navigating through their first time of working at home can try or can create in their home?
Yeah. So in your bubble, just create the bubble. And again, my partner and I have worked from home together. So we have the luxury of we made our dining room to his office. And then the upstairs, there's a studio up here that I'm in. So if you can't do that, create your own spaces that you're both being able to hyper focus on. And then with the kids, create playtime with them. Like this is your opportunity to take a break and to stop escaping to work, because I see that as a problem very often. So instead of escaping to work, escape into like a playland with the kids, play with them.
Yeah.
And then, show up where, when you need to for work. And then the other thing is have an accountability for work, like that you guys jump on a video call every morning at 9 a.m., talk about what you're going to be doing. And then you could even sign off. That holds you accountable. It puts you on video. It has you show up. And I know for me, not that anyone ever needed to do that with me, but it just felt better. Like I always checked in with my manager, because I was one of the only ones working from home. Like I was one of the first, like on the frontier, so I always made myself really show up in the chats and things like that. And with video, there's just more of a human touch now, because it can get lonely, I think we all know it can be really lonely right now, especially people living by themselves. I mean, no human touch for, like, so just take care of yourself.
And what I'm hearing also is that's the work experience, is that we, for a lot of people, being in the office with each other was the experience. So, and I know everyone's like, oh, I could just email that accountability partner, or I could just email, what I'm up to today, or what I'm committed to creating for the day. But I love that, Keelin, that, that connection piece also matters right now. And so rather than email, or it's a both and, you could email that accountability partner and hop on the video and connect with them, see their
Yeah.
face. And one of the beautiful things that that Becky Lee shared yesterday, my guest from yesterday, was, you know, now we're getting to know each other in such a more intimate way by being virtual and being on camera from home, because now you can see where I live. Like,
I
it's
love seeing that. I'm such a
yeah,
voyeur in
it's
that
not
way.
like
I'm
me
like,
in
oh, let me
my
see.
suit and like, you know, just all dolled up. You see me in my, you know that I love orchids, and you know, if you're seeing me on Facebook Live, you can see more of my space where, you know, everything in my house is white. So you know this about me. And, you know, for other people, like I see like, you know, this is the thing that I look for, and things that remind me of you is that rainbow in the background.
Yeah.
Always when I'm about to pop on a video with you, I'm like, oh, Keelin, I'm going to see the rainbow. So what a more intimate way to get to know everybody that you work with and know the fabric of who they are, rather than Karen in HR, which was my example from yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is something I talk about in my work that I do with my corporate coaching, is we get to bring our full selves into the workplace. There is none of this, I'm going to check out as being a mom and then check in to the office as the vice president of marketing. There's none of that. You are a mom and you are the vice president of marketing. So now in this space, we get to see her or him as the mom or the dad, or the guy who loves to play sax, or the person who loves orchids.
Yeah.
So I love that, Keelin, that connection piece and the accountability. That's something, you know, even for senior leaders right now, you get to have an accountability partner too. So I know, you know, you're holding down the fort and holding your team accountable. And how can you support yourself with holding yourself accountable, or support yourself with being supported during this time? Because we know that, you know, leadership, it's, you know, in the old paradigm, it's about me, you know, I do all the work, I'm the leader, it's all up to me. And in this new paradigm, we get to work together, we get to collaborate, delegate, and, you know, we're all in this together. So I love, love, love that piece. So any other final thing you want to share in regards to working from home?
I think that covers it. I mean, I would just say get on video, and we're going to transition to the confident on camera, but you know, get on video with your team, because energetically, this might sound kind of wooey, but energetically we can connect over video, and it really does help. Especially when we're so isolated and we're so out of our routine. You know, I mean, some people could be depressed, some people could be anxious, some people could be worried. And I will tell you right now, I promise you, if you get on a video, a Zoom with your team and the people you're missing, your family, whoever, it instantly, it helps. It's magic.
It really is. And, you know, one of the things I was saying earlier this week is I've been fortunate enough that this Zoom thing has been a part of my business and just a part of my being for the last 5 years. And, you know, and it's not easy. So I want to let everyone know it's not easy being on camera. It's not easy navigating through the lighting, the sound. Like, am I using this, or am I just talking? And like, what is it working? Like, does anybody watching right now, like technology is like not your jam? Like, you're just like, anytime someone's like, let's hop on even FaceTime. Last week, I'm on a group chat, a group text, and somehow someone from the text clicked FaceTime, and somehow we all popped up on a group FaceTime, and it blew my mind. I'm like, how do we do this again? The best thing ever. And I'll tell you what, that call wasn't scheduled. We were like, let's FaceTime at 8:00. It just happened. Everyone picked up, and we were all on the phone for over an hour. And it was magical. It was funny as heck. And it was just beautiful. So let's talk about now, like being on camera. And, you know, I know, you know, your signature program that you offer, and you just launched it recently, and this was in the works before coronavirus and everything that we're up to, is called Confident on Camera. So tell us why Confident on Camera was important to you even before this was happening. And then we'll kind of start diving into what that is and what it means.
Yeah. So it's important to me because I grew up in Vermont, and I lived in a big house on a dirt road, and Vermont winters are long. So I really watched movies and I connected with television a lot. I was an only child. And as I got older, and technology in the 21st century gave us so many ways to create video, I realized that I could create these videos and spread magic the way that I got to have them as a kid.
Mhm.
And as Zoom has become more prevalent in the last couple of years, video conferencing, all of those pieces, I realized that people were having a hard time getting on video. And there's also such a payoff on the other side of being able to press record or
Mm.
press live. And that payoff could be getting your really powerful story out and helping so many people. It could be making an income, either a side hustle or becoming a coach, or using a skill to teach other people. So there's just so many opportunities that video holds, especially right now. Like, as you said, I was already planning to do this confident on camera. Um, I've just been such a source and a champion for social media all these years, for all of the technology.
Mhm.
And then this happens and everyone suddenly gets to know how to be on video. And I love watching the news because I love seeing how people are showing up as experts with whatever is behind them. And the ones who are confident, it doesn't matter if their background is messed up or if the lighting or whatever, but the ones who aren't, who may have a perfect picture set up, they're not confident, their message isn't landing.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because that's a lot of the work we do in our leadership program, is that it's not about the big candidates. It's not about the logistics of the lighting, your outfit or the sound. It's not about that. It's about first being connected to what it is you want to share, and then having that confidence to just share it no matter what. And the interesting part is, one of my friends on Instagram posted a live of the traffic report this morning, and as the woman's doing the traffic report from her home, her child is screaming the whole time, and they did not cut. They just kept going. It was local, like ABC or whatever. And she's on point. She did not even, her voice never like changed
Wow.
or anything. She
Yeah.
delivered the traffic, and her kid is going. And I don't think he was like upset or angry. I think he's having a blast. Whatever he
Mhm.
was doing in the background, he was so joyful. But like, she never, like, it was like on point. And that, to me, is an example of being confident on camera.
Yeah. And confidence is currency, and connection is currency, right? And that currency could be energetically, it could be monetary. And I love that story because it just proves that, well, it goes back to our work from home, but also proves things are going to happen around us all the time. There is no perfectionism, but perfectionism turns into procrastination when we don't do,
Mm,
right? When we just get stuck in our head, I'd love to write that book, or I'd love to like go on Facebook and speak my mind right now. So I created this program for people to get it out there, to get them to press record first. And then I realized, well, this is working, so let me make it longer and bigger. And I
yeah.
will get into some mechanics, but it's also about ways of being, and it's tapping into each person's specific love. So one of my friends is joining it. She's a kung fu teacher, but she's also a survivor of domestic violence. So she has such a powerful story that through her skill of teaching self-defense on video, she can also tell her story. And how many women, and maybe men, will that help? Just by her putting her energy out on video, just by her helping a couple people learn how to, do different moves. So I'm
Yeah.
really inspired by that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So tell us more about the program, and what kind of are the things that and let us know who this is a fit for as well.
Yeah.
So, because there's a lot of our paradigms and our professional paradigms have shifted right now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
some of us might be on camera for a while, longer than just, whatever this moment in time is.
Right.
So let's talk about who this confident on camera program might be a good fit for.
So this program is what I'm offering right now is a 5-week intensive.
Mhm.
And it's for anyone who has a product, service, or story that they're ready to get out there. I work mostly with coaches. That doesn't mean that it's just for coaches, because it's anyone who wants to press record, basically. So I usually use the entrepreneur umbrella because there's so many people out there that have a product, they have a service like a coaching or, a service that is usually, let's say I'm thinking of like a real estate agent. Real estate agents can't go show houses, but if they're confident on camera, they can virtually tour houses and have calls with potential, right? So any kind of profession like that, we're going to be on camera way more, all of us. I have a friend who's a banker. She can have mortgage discussions over Zoom, and I'd rather be speaking about buying a house to someone face to face than over email or over a phone call,
Yeah.
right? So this program is really for anyone who's ready to push record. And a lot of people are going live right now, and people aren't necessarily watching because the story's not landing or the product's not landing. There's very specific formulas that I have studied, I think all my life, really, to be able to land a message, to be able to monetize on a skill, or just to get your story out there,
Mhm.
right? And I started all this because I wanted to build my own audience because I have a dream of having a human children's show. So all of the things that I've learned, I'm providing in this 5-week intensive.
Mhm. Amazing. So walk us through it. What can we learn? What can we like what are some of the results and benefits from someone who is going to go through the confident on camera program or experience with you?
So what's great about it is it's customizable. So what I do personally as the coach is I provide specific tasks and stretches, as we will, uh, assignments to tap into what you're really passionate about. So that could be digging into your closet and pulling out your favorite wardrobe. It could be telling a story from your childhood. So through those pieces, you're doing everything on video. And because it's a group program, you have an audience who are watching your videos.
Yeah, like a
So
safe, like-minded audience. We're all
yeah,
going through this. So we're not necessarily going live right out the gate. We're not hitting record to the world out the gate. So in this program, you're going live and hitting record with your like-minded cohort of other people who are, building and developing and evolving their confidence on camera. I love that.
exactly. Safe place, safe group. And I actually have a free group on Facebook called Confident on Camera Community. Anyone's welcome to join it. If you just kind of want to do a play space, sometimes I go in there and I audit videos and I give you feedback on your background and your way of being. But in the actual 5-week intensive, I'm going in and I'm coaching you on each of your videos. So what you can expect on the other side is showing up more powerfully, having a video library that you've created in the 5 weeks that
Mhm.
you can decide if you want to monetize it. Like my friend who is a kung fu master, she can package those and actually sell them as a program, which is really, really powerful right now. Because think about self-defense, like we're at home, right? We can just learn that.
Yeah.
And then, someone who's like a real estate agent, they've practiced enough that they can start making calls and making offers. Because I really am a stand for the money right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on a fun tangent.
You know what's coming up for me, Keelan? I'm thinking, and this is reminding me of Toastmasters, where
Totally.
people go to some sort of meeting or meetup,
Hmm.
and at Toastmasters you go around and you practice your 1 minute pitch, and you're working on your public speaking. You have an audience of like-minded people who are working on the same. So, is that the experience? That sounds like the experience, but for video, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Toastmaster, and it's definitely part of that. Very the piece of it is that there is the community. Sorry, my phone keeps
I know, me too.
it's not staying.
Working. I hear you. I see you. It's all good.
Yeah, so my Toastmasters meeting actually has gone to video. And for this, I'm actually diving into your background. I'm diving into your wardrobe. I've got a guest speaker coming in. She's a stylist. She's going to talk about why wardrobe is important. I have a friend who's coming in to talk about content. How can you monetize? How can you get people outside of this container to watch and care about your videos? Right. So you're going to come out of it with a library. You're, and I invite my people to do a before video and an after video. And
Yeah.
the transformation is so rad. Like it is just so beautiful.
And that's
So
one of the biggest pieces, and when we talk about Toastmasters or just anything that we're trying for the first time and we're looking to build our confidence, is getting that supportive, neutral feedback on what it is we're up to. Because sometimes when we're trying something new, or even when we're in the thick of what we know, that if we don't have the feedback, that we may not be able or understand what's working, what's not working, and that opportunity to evolve and really lean further into this space. And in
yeah.
this context, the space of being live on video, and connecting professionally via video, that feedback piece is so important because even right now we're doing live, like we're in here,
Yeah.
there's no real feedback, but the audience could be giving us feedback and we could be responsive to that. Yet when you're in this container that I'm hearing you say that you're creating in this program, is that not only do you get the experience of being live on camera, and you get the audience with it as well, but you're also getting that feedback of this is working. For me, especially as I've been rewatching my interview series, I hear myself saying, or I know, and a lot. And I know that's like a Toastmasters thing where they ding you for the ums.
Yes.
So like that feedback, and also being able to watch yourself, and also give yourself feedback and really, lean into what you see as well.
And that's one of the really important pieces of the program, is that you get to go back and watch yourself. And when I was more active in Toastmasters, we were one of the only clubs that videotaped every single speech.
Mm.
And I'm such a stan. Go back and watch your videos. I know it doesn't, you don't, I love it. My fiance is like, you love yourself so much. And I'm like, yeah, like I love watching myself on video. Like I'm really inspired by myself. That didn't happen overnight, right? So like,
And we're able to say, like, I know you, Keelin, and I know like you've done a lot of work to unpack a lot of the the things that have led you to be able to lean into your confidence. So let's talk a little bit about that piece, that confidence piece, because we talked about this earlier, the mechanics of like being on video, being live and hitting record, and like
right.
putting all the items together. That's one thing, but it won't really matter unless you are confident in your message, who you are, and connected to
Yeah.
what it is that you're coming on to share, create, and cause in whatever moment you're hitting record or going live.
Yeah. Because here's the deal. No matter what your product is, your service is, your story, people are watching and buying from you. It's you. You're the influencer. You're the person who has something. And the sooner we can radically love ourselves, the sooner everything falls into place. The sooner you
Mm,
find the man or woman of your dreams, the sooner you get the dream job, because this is taken care of.
I love
It's very hard to love another person or love outside of this shell until we've loved ourselves. And my mom, who was a Tupperware lady,
I
she
remember that. Tupperware and Avon. I remember that.
yeah. And and those companies really helped women empowerment, but she would stand in front of the mirror and smile and dial and practice how she showed up. And she would do this, it took practice. It takes practice to be confident. It takes practice to love yourself. It takes, affirmations. One of the things I do in my challenges is you get to take selfies of yourself every day, of every angle, whatever you're wearing, lighting, but you get to really look at yourself and you fall in love
Mm,
with yourself. Because this is all we got, right?
I
Like
love
that,
it.
like we are like, this is my best friend. Like there's nothing outside of this at any time, right? Like we
I
get to
love
really
it.
look deeply into ourselves. So
Beautiful.
that's the deeper layer that we address in this program.
I love it. So I'm going to be popping the link. If you're interested in connecting with Keelin, I'm going to pop that into the comments on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I'm still trying to figure out Instagram, y'all. Like technology, Instagram is like my mountain I'm climbing right now, and that's okay. So Keelin, I know that confident on camera is what your program is, but you also have this other aspect of who and who you are, and that is Lady Liberty. So tell us more about that.
So I have an alter ego named Lady Liberty of the 21st Century. She is a nonviolent superhero because I grew up with Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, The Muppets, a show called Square One, Reading Rainbow. Like I grew up watching all those PBS stories.
Mhm.
And I just am such a stand last presidential election. I was so hurt to see all of the fear and almost hatred on social media. It was really a lot of fear. So that kind of propelled me into rebirthing my creativity. Because remember, I said I worked for corporate for 20 years. So I didn't think that I could be creative working in corporate. And I was starving my artist, literally starving my artist. And when I retired from corporate, my Lady Liberty of the 21st Century was my rebirth, essentially. And I just see her being a host of a children's show because the original statue's name is Liberty Enlightening the World. So I just see this beautiful variety show helping kids of all ages learn new things. And right now it's a new frontier. We're literally in a shift change, right? Like we're in this quantum shift and we don't know what's necessarily going to happen. Not that we ever really know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? And I created her about 2 years ago, and I've been on this journey of just trying to figure out like where she gets to be, who she's for. And I just always keep coming back to the kids, and I keep coming back to our transformational leadership work, and introducing that very gently to kids, and to parents also who are stressed out and want a new toolbox to figure out, how we can navigate this new frontier of all
Mhm.
this technology, of staying home even though it's fine outside. So one of my gifts is that I go live every day at noon and 5 p.m. Pacific, and I read children's books as Lady Liberty. My fiance joins me most of the time, Mr. Liberty, Darren. You call me Mr.
I
Liberty.
love it. I
So the
love it.
21st Century Lady Liberty is partnered up, and these books are beautiful. They're I partnered with a publisher called Ifrig Publishing, and you have the link for them. They
Mhm.
are making all these books into free ebooks, so you can go on their website, which we have. It's Ifrig Publishing, and you can download these books and you can read them along with us when we go live on Facebook.
I
Um,
love
I'm
it.
I'm doing noon and 5 p.m. right now. I don't know how long that's going to be, but I have the stack, and I love doing it. I find I love books anyways, and I'm learning so much by reading them. So people of any age can learn so much from it. And Lady Liberty, she is a nonviolent superhero, and she's a human, because every human is a superhero. And I just found such a need for her right now, because as far as I can see on children's programming, it's a lot of animation. There isn't a lot of I don't want to say depth, but there isn't just connection. I feel like it's missing connection. And what I'm doing is
Authenticity, like
yeah, thank you.
human
That was the other one.
authentic, like
Yeah.
authentic people speaking real words and not, drawings that are animated. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So as I build this out, there's also coaching opportunities there for parents to be held accountable to give the kids an activity pack, which I'm working on. So it would include the books, it includes little videos I'm making as Lady Liberty. She's fun and funky, and that's her hat up there. You can't see it on Instagram, but it's over there. I guess I can show
Awesome.
on there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there
So
it is.
yeah.
Well, and you're wearing that hat in the headshot that you sent over.
Yes.
Which you couldn't get the full thing in, but we get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Lady Liberty's biggest message to us right now And does it differ for adults and children?
No, because the message is the same, because we are all connected. We are all one. Kids are sponges. So your kids are you, the best parts, if you ask me. And the message right now is stay connected, stay confident that everything's going to be okay. We get to be creators of our lives. I
Mm,
went to bed last night and I was like, I was feeling kind of a little off. And I was like, what's my problem right now? And I realized I wasn't thinking about the future in a really big way.
mm,
I was very insulated on like me and Darren or Lady Liberty or like my smaller inner circle. I was like, what do I want for the world? Now is the moment to think about that and to play with that. Like what I want for the world is I want every home to have a sustainable garden in it, right? Some sort of uh mechanical garden that like takes care of itself,
okay.
but everyone can have fresh produce, right?
Mhm.
Like, no matter what class you're in. You know, I want the Native American nations to be able to be looked at as states in our country. I want an equality amendment in the Constitution. Those are big things, right? I want world peace, which world peace is happening right now, by the way. Knock on wood.
Absolutely.
So I invite all of you to dreamscape on a really big, beautiful level, because the world's our oyster. Especially right now, the playing field is leveled, the
Mm,
curve is leveling, you know, and that's how we get to stay optimistic. Because I'm not seeing the bad. I'm saying that we just don't want to get sucked down by that, right? Like, how can we come out of this bigger, brighter, more rainbows, right?
more rainbows.
Way more rainbows.
Yes. So, Keelin, thank you so much for joining us today. I
Thank
love, love, love
you.
just all of this. So, the work from home tips and just best practices, how wonderful. And, you know, anybody who is out there that's, wanting to lean all the way into being on camera, and not just the mechanics of being on camera, but that mindset piece, the confidence piece,
Yeah.
and what Keelin shared, that connection with yourself and really loving up and being best friends with yourself, which seems to be the theme from a lot of my guests.
Mm.
Starts with self first, and then learning all the wisdom and joy and possibilities from Lady Liberty. I did pop all those links into my Facebook.
Great.
Keelin and I, if there are any questions that you have, we'll be popping on Facebook later in the day to answer any questions. And Keelin, thank you so very much. And
Thanks,
I just want
Tiffany.
to let everyone know who's watching now and later that tomorrow's guest, get ready. Tomorrow, I am having on a really great friend and really, really amazing person, Lisa Kostova. And we're going to be talking everything from the stars, the planets, and numbers about what is going on in this place and time. And I don't know about you, but astrology and all that stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh
I
yeah.
live for this. So, Keelin Siobhan Clark, thank you so much. I love you. And we will definitely have you back on. I want to go deeper into the camera and just all of it. So, anything you want to say as we say goodbye today?
Just thank you for having me on, and viewers, you are in for such a treat tomorrow. I know Lisa as well, and oh, you guys are in such a treat to have these two guiding you. So thank you for the space that you've opened up here, Tiffany. You're amazing.
Thank you, my love. I will see you soon and have a great
Bye.
day, everyone. Bye.
Mwah. Bye.